Why do you want to get out of debt? Is it to free up money so you can build that emergency savings? Or maybe purchase your first home or the house of your dreams? Or maybe you are just tired of paying so much interest. Whatever the reason is, you are not alone. I'm Sylvia Wadford, financial educator with Virginia Credit Union, and I will walk you through the steps to show you exactly how to get out of debt.
The following presentation is brought to you by Virginia Credit Union.
The first step is to know who you owe. Get a copy of your free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. Make sure that you go to this site. This is the one that's authorized by the 3 credit reporting agencies that allows all of us to get a free copy of our credit report once a year. Once you have that copy, then you can look at who you actually owe. And I want you to think about your OK debt. This is when you borrow money for economic gain, which would include a mortgage for your home or a car loan for transportation. Once you look at your OK debt, I want you to focus on what we will call your bad debt. And that includes all of your creditors where you have a balance on with your credit cards. Next, you'll list your current debt. This includes the creditors, the balance, the interest rate, and the monthly payment. Once you know who you owe, the next step is to create SMART goals to get out of debt. Let me give you an example. When we look at creating a SMART goal, this would be, my goal is to pay off my $5,000 in credit card debt in 2 years. It is specific. We're paying off the credit card debt. We can measure it with $5,000. It's attainable, it's relevant, and we have a time frame, which is 2 years. So set your SMART goals around what it is that you want to pay off. The next step is to decide the best strategy that will work for you. Strategy number 1 is using PowerPay. You can go to the website, powerpay.org, where you will enter everything that you owe, including your balance, your interest rate, your monthly payment. The first step is to reach out to your creditors and try to negotiate a lower interest rate. So if you can get that interest rate down from, say, 30% and you can get that reduced, that is going to save you money in the long run. Once you have everything inputted in the PowerPoint calculation, you will focus on paying off one creditor at a time. You can pay off either the highest interest rate or the one with the smallest balance. But when one debt is paid off, you simply roll that over to the next payment. Let's look at an example. You have 3 credit cards here. You start with the first credit card. You make the payment for month 1, month 2, and then the third month when it's paid off, that $71, you simply roll that over to the next creditor, where instead of paying $12, now you'll pay $83. You'll pay that each month. And then at the 6th month, you'll roll that over to the next creditor. So when you free up that money, you don't spend it. You actually roll it over to the next creditor, and that creates a plan for you to get out of debt. The second strategy is to consider refinancing, possibly your mortgage or your auto loan, and get a lower interest rate. If you can get a lower interest rate, that will lower not only your monthly payment, but you'll pay less interest in the long run. And check out our interest rates at Virginia Credit Union because you want to look at getting a competitive interest rate. Let's look at an example. So let's say with your auto loan, your balance is $14,500 and the current rate is 4.50. You have 36 months remaining and your payment is $555.29. Let's say you refinance it at $14,500 with a new rate of 2.25% with 36 months remaining and a monthly payment of $416.90. Now you have freed up $138.39. You can use that money to pay off any credit card debt. The third strategy is a debt consolidation loan. And this is when you take all of everything that you owe and consolidate it into one loan. Now, keep in mind when you do this, you don't want to consolidate, pay everything off, and then end up using those credit cards again and getting into more debt. You want to put your arms around everything and have one payment with a fixed interest rate, and you can choose either a personal loan or an equity loan. So if you choose the personal loan, you'll take the $4,400, which is what you actually owe. Look at getting that for 3 years at an interest rate of 8.49. Your new payment now is $138.88. So if you have actually reduced the monthly payment with the personal loan, the other option is to look at getting an equity loan. Now, keep in mind, if you get an equity loan, a home equity loan, you're borrowing against the equity in your home. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with that because that's more risk involved. You're actually using your home as collateral. If you don't pay the loan, the lender can actually foreclose on your home. So be very careful in reference to that. So let's say you do that for 3 years. The interest rate is 3.75. The new payment is $129.42. Again, you've reduced how much you pay each month, and you also have reduced the amount of interest that you're paying. Once you've looked at all of these strategies, you want to develop a plan so that you stay out of debt. So think about replacing that debt with a savings account. Implement the PYF principle. Pay yourself first and put money on a consistent basis in your savings account. And think of that as a revolving savings account. You will be putting money there on a monthly basis and withdrawing that money to pay for the things that you were using on your credit card. If you need some additional coaching, at Virginia Credit Union, we partner with Balance, a nonprofit organization that can offer you free financial coaching for our members. And they offer a debt management program where they actually advocate on your behalf to negotiate with your creditors to get a lower interest rate and a lower monthly payment. So my challenge to you now is to make a decision within the next 24 hours and determine which step you will take now so that you can get on that path to get out of debt.